I got something better for the show. What? I didn't say something better for the show.
Tails and nails, tails and tails, tails and nails.
That worked really well.
That was good. I was not expecting a chorus. That was awesome. All right.
That is the first time I might have somewhat harmonized with somebody in my life.
Sound like more like a monk chant.
I think we're both so bad singers and out of key. It just kind of works together.
Yeah.
That was good. Right on. Well, welcome to the Ales and Tales podcast. In case you did not know, based on the lyrics of that impromptu song, we're going to bring you a review today on a beer from Burial Brewing Company. I'm excited about this one. It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to look forward to seeing what everybody hears about it. What
We're
everybody
gonna
tastes.
taste what you hear.
That's it. You taste what I
Smell
hear.
what you say.
I taste what you hear, Mike. I taste what you hear. Smell what
This
you
is
say.
the third episode
Well, I hope I don't smell
the...
what you say. Here's some
Yeah,
gum.
this is the third episode in the batch. It's always the good one.
Yeah. Okay, so first and foremost, if you are listening, do know that you can find us on YouTube at the Ales and Tales podcast if you want to watch along with our craziness. If you're watching us and you don't want to watch us and want to listen to us instead, you can listen to us. But you can find all of it at the alesandtalespodcast.com along with our Patreon link if you'd like to support the show. Okay.
Okay.
I ran out of breath on that. That was a long one. It is still allergy season. So Burial Brewing Company is out of Asheville, North Carolina, and I had a chance to go up there recently and picked this one up. Ben was... two people that I know who are hardcore beer people are like, you need to go by Burial. I would not have even noticed this place. I would not have thought about it. Had no idea. But both were like, go. And I was like, okay. And then I went and I understand why. They had some really good stuff. It's probably one of my favorite places there in Asheville. Definitely outside the box as far as what they do. So we're going to tell you guys a little bit about that and taste this and talk about how wild it is because I have a feeling this one's going to be rather wild. I've not had this one
The
before.
ingredient list is crazy.
Yes.
Whoa.
It's a kitchen sink.
It really is. A very high-end exotic kitchen sink. So for those of you who are new to us, my co-hosts and beer buddies, we've got Carly Duggan,
Hello.
Ben Purrier,
Hey, everybody.
and Jim McCarthy.
Hello.
And I'm Mike Mercurio. And we are going to bring you different palates and our impressions on this beer so that you know if you want to try it or if you should avoid it. You know, it's a tough job, but somebody has to do it. So we'll suffer through the bad ones for you and the good ones too.
We haven't had too many bad ones.
No, not really.
They're very enjoyable.
Besides that dogfish one, that was like
That
a little
one
cow.
sticks.
Brown
That
paper
one.
towel.
Yeah.
Delaware beer?
No, that was worse than Delaware. That one sticks with you.
Yeah.
That was, oh.
Oh, the Goza. That was.
Oh, yeah.
I
Strawberry.
didn't mind it.
You didn't mind it?
You're talking about the bio beer.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. It just took a while to grow on you.
You had it with a cheesecake.
That's what
I
helped.
I like it now.
That's what helped.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't.
But on the
as bad.
show, it was kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, it was initially
It was something.
rough. It was
Yeah.
something. So, a little bit about, I'm going to read you guys a beer quote to get us going. If I can find the right page. All right. Beer doesn't make you fat. It makes you lean against bars, tables, chairs, and sometimes even walls. Okay, so a little bit about Burial Brewing. Their website says Burial Brewing Co., Burial Beer Co. was dreamt up in Seattle by friends Tim Gormley and Doug and Jess Reiser. The three dove deep into the craft beer scene during their time in the PNW, whatever that is, which ultimately led...
Pacific Northwest.
There you go. I don't think on the fly. I'm just reading. That led to the decision to open their own brewery. The search for the perfect location ended when they found Asheville, North. Why did I say North Tennessee? Asheville, North Carolina. The three moved across the country in 2012. Found an old transmission shop. I was wondering what that building was. That would eventually become the original brewery and tap room, and opened their doors to the public in 2013 with a one-barrel system.
Wow.
In AVL's South Slope District. The name Burial and the brand that the company embodies was deeply inspired by the city of New Orleans, where Doug and Jess had lived prior to their time in Seattle. In NOLA, there's a strong culture of celebrating life. Funeral processions become large parades and have instruments, singing, and dancing. Everybody stops and joins in, even if they don't know the deceased. We view our products, places, and experiences through this very lens, celebrating life's fleeting moments with mindfulness and introspection.
There we go.
So, yeah, as we were talking before we got into the episode, it's got like, so think of some dark, definite death-looking type of ideas
all
and
their artwork
pictures. And,
is
yeah,
death themes.
it's on the darker side of things, and even the name burial, but...
I like that description because this is, I mean, the can art on here is very much the celebration of death. You have, a pinata. I guess I'm taking over the describing the can, but it's the colorful turquoise and kind of pinkish pinata, but it's decaying. You can see,
Ribs.
bony ribs in its skull through it. But it's got, the little psychedelic prism and Roman columns behind it. I don't know how those fit into pinata, but sure. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Very colorful and fun.
It is.
The celebration of the party of death.
Yeah, purple, dark purples, teals, and pinks. Kind of looks like you'd said, like if you wore 3D glasses, the red and blue lens, it would make it pop out at you or something like that. But yeah, you can see the skull of the pinata underneath the pinata with the moths flying around it, which is kind of weird, gotta say. But whatever. Okay. So since you described the bottle, I'm going to have Carly read out the description of the ingredients.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought this was kind of interesting.
All right. The diabolical misunderstanding that was never there.
What a weird name for beer, by the way.
It's all of them. It's all of Burial's beers.
Okay. It's an imperial oatmeal stout with toasted oats, cream cheese powder, cinnamon, sea salt, and brown butter washed rum barrel aged vanilla beans. That's the most adjectives I've ever seen for vanilla beans.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Brown butter washed.
Rum barrel
Barrel-aged.
aged vanilla beans. Okay. Cool.
Cool. So yeah, there's not really not much to see on this bottle. We can put it up there for a minute if anybody wants to view it. You can put it up there just so they can see the pinata, but probably not going to get a huge view of it. Larger bottle. This is
That's probably only like 16 ounces.
You
Probably
think?
500 milliliter.
okay.
But it is 15%.
It is
15%.
15%. This one I have a feeling is going to be thick because based on the other one that I've had from them, it was thick.
Huh.
I found the microphone.
All right.
Yeah. I'm just rubbing against the microphone. Yeah, you like that?
That's the sound of Mike's chest hair.
Pierce nipple.
No.
Sorry. Third episode.
All right. So shall we pop this thing open?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
Carly, go ahead.
Need a
You do the somebody do the honors.
Okay.
Ben will do the answers. The
answer.
answers.
Ben will do the answers.
This is.
all of the answers.
There will be multiple points where we notice.
It's like either the third episode gets really wild or really mellow. There's only two ways about it.
Oh, she's sick.
Almost a dark mahogany. Not quite how much to pour. It's about right.
Yeah, thank you. It's very similar to the last one, but like almost thicker.
Yes.
Almost like syrup.
A little bit.
Syrup.
Not
Syrup?
for you, man. Sorry.
Syrup.
Syrup.
I don't know.
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
So, there you
Yeah, I got a little top off for everybody.
Thank you.
Oh wait, hold on. There's more coming.
Topper.
More coming.
You're gonna want all this. Trust me.
I can't wait for the nosing of this one because it's going to be wild. All
go. Good.
right.
Put Carly's on the sacrificial.
The sacrificial coaster.
Yep.
Again, pitch black, zero light escapes this beer whatsoever. It is no micro bubbles whatsoever. It's just big bubbles, and they vanish quickly because that is a high gravity beer. Looks like one of the darkest espresso shots you'll ever see. I see no brown in it. Only when you were pouring it thin enough,
So much red and
it
mahogany.
had like a
What is the ABV again?
15.
15 ABV?
15 plus.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there is a dark cherry mahogany.
So it's going to be a
color
very
to it.
sweet beer.
Yeah, this is your dessert beer.
Yeah. Yeah, take a whiff of that thing.
So
smells
those
so
of you
good.
who are listening, we do have shots of this on the screen. So
Saturday sipper. I don't even know what notes I get off the nose though. That's the crazy
Toasted
part.
marshmallow is the first thing I
Okay,
get.
toasted marshmallow. I was getting
I get
that cream
the-
cheese dairy something, but it doesn't smell like cream cheese.
The butter washed, barrel aged
Yeah.
vanilla beans. Like I'm missing an adjective.
I wonder what brown butter is, like a fat washing they did with the vanilla beans, or what did they? Did they butter wash the rum barrel and then age the vanilla beans? I'm really curious about what the
Makes you
process
wonder how
of
they
that
do
was,
that, yeah.
right? Like, what was brown butter washed, and is brown butter washing what I think it is, like fat washing, like you do with whiskey?
Right. If you swirl it around in the glass a little bit, let it send up some extra stuff. You get the cinnamon, you get nutmeg. I get almost vegetal notes to it.
You can almost make
green.
you could use this to make pancakes.
Yeah.
You know, like substitute the vanilla extract.
Interesting. What's a vegetal?
Yeah, this is
Right?
basically vanilla extract.
It is. That's what I'm kind of getting at.
Yeah, you definitely
Oh
need
my
a lot
gosh.
of vanilla bean.
I get a good amount of the cinnamon. If you swirl it, it's
Yeah.
where it wakes up the
A
cinnamon.
little
in
of
it.
the salt.
It's just like when I smell it, it just immediately reminds me of like a brewery, like the smell of a brewery.
That's got a good scent
Smelling
to
the
it.
mash or the wort.
I like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's way more mild smelling than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. The other one was a little bit stronger.
I definitely get toasted marshmallow though. All right, let's give this thing a whirl.
I can see that.
Wow. You get a punch of cinnamon, that little kick of the rum, a little bit right
Whoa.
off the rip.
That's completely different than the smell.
You definitely get the kind of mouthfeel from the cream cheese, that kind of lactose in there
Yeah.
helps body it out.
Oh, that tastes. My
Little
tongue is
creamy.
way better than my tongue was in the last episode. I don't know. That sounds weird, but it's not like sticky and like dry. Like this is like creamier and it's different.
That is interesting. It's like if you pan toasted a bunch of nuts, like a
Yeah.
nut medley in a pan.
Pecans.
Yeah.
Brulee marshmallow.
Yes.
Yes.
Like this is
Creme brulee, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit. I really get that like campfire marshmallow though.
But it's got those weird notes to it. The cinnamon
Cinnamon
really
and
messes
the
with
butter.
it, and the butter.
Yeah, but
Oh
you
my
still get like the barrel aged. Like that's
No,
like
it's
at
not
the
like.
end.
No, sorry. It's not like it's overwhelming. It's just really good.
Right?
There's a lot going on.
They
with this.
do a very good job of taking a lot of different things and blending them magnificently. There's a lot of breweries out there that'll put 6 different ingredients in there, and it just tastes like mush.
Poo.
Like this tastes like purple.
And apologies to the brewer. I forgot
Popping
to put
this
their
peas
logo
over
on.
there.
I know. I
Now their
did pop my
logo's up.
pee.
Yeah, there you go. They have an interesting logo: pitchfork, scythe, axe, hammer, and a
Mjolnir.
Sickle,
sickle.
Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
right?
Again, all lively,
Har-
upbeat stuff.
You reap what you sow, the harvest, the harvesting of, yeah.
I see Mjolnir.
You build and
Mule.
cut down your life and
The circle
get
of life.
dark in there.
I know. Yeah, the hammer, Thor's hammer.
Oh, are you busting out Thor's hammer? Mjolnir? Is that how you say it? I can never say it right. Mjolnir.
Wow, it looks so light.
It's just because Jim's worthy.
Jim is really strong.
That's because I'm worthy. There's Mjolnir.
You just really wanted to show that off, didn't you?
Wait, you should act like it's really heavy.
He's not worthy. He's been
I was gonna
having
say he's
impure
not.
thoughts about that IPA we had.
The first one today? No, the impure thoughts was the one from Barrique. Oh my gosh.
The
Yeah.
That was
Hazy.
so good.
It was so refreshing. Because that
juicy.
place was so swelteringly hot.
It was, yeah,
I love
in the
Barrique, but
mosquitoes.
Yeah, the the mosquitoes were eating me alive that day.
Yeah, my leg was all covered. But like all of their
I'm glad
beers,
you two were sweeter than me.
all of the beers we tried were phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
they're
Good.
so
Spen-
different.
Spencer does an
and-
amazing job.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very good.
We had a wonderful time nonetheless.
Okay, so I know last episode I was talking to you guys about the lamb bacon that I found. I want lamb bacon with this. I want something salty and dark.
This would be great with leg of lamb.
Yes.
Like make the lamb gravy. I love lamb gravy.
Yeah.
Take all the drippings and-
Anything salty and meaty and smoky.
You ever seen a flight of bacon? There's like 4 different
Yeah.
types of bacon. Some of it has like maple syrup. One of it's like beef bacon, like lamb bacon.
I think this would be good with like really spicy like Thai food almost.
What's the flight? You ever get a flight that every single one is like, meh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go to a different brewery.
Yes.
I know. Well,
That is exactly right.
We hit a place in Pigeon Forge that was like that. They're like, oh, let's sample a bunch of beers. None of them were like,
Last one I went to was in San Antonio. It was a newer brewery. They had seltzer that was actually really good. They did like an in-house, like hard Italian seltzer to where, I mean, it was 6%. Couldn't taste it. They'd add their own flavorings. So you had your options of flavorings, peach or watermelon. Those were great. And just every beer tasted like it was made out of a, homebrew Mr. Keg. It had spoiled. It was not good. Oh, the owner's there. Oh, what do you think? It's great.
yeah. Are you guys familiar with Chattanooga at all? You go down there?
I've heard of it.
I want to go. It's
Is that
been
in
a long
Tennessee or
time
something?
since I've been.
Wow. So there's a really good pizza place there who is also a winery. And I hope he doesn't listen to this, but, it's
Interesting combination, pizza and wine.
not really. Kind of goes together.
Says the Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've never thought about it. I drink beer with pizza. I'm sorry. I am American.
You can have wine with pizza.
American.
But the wines he's like, you want to buy, and we always have to make the excuse, well, we're driving. We're always on our way somewhere. We always want to stop by for the pizza because it's really good. He's like, you want to try this wine? I'm like, no. We've been there, done that. It's not as good as you think.
I've been there and experienced that. Not with that place, but I went to like one of my favorite bands of all time was Tool, and Maynard has his winery that he's done, and it's out in Jerome, Arizona. And I wanted to check out Jerome because I was just kind of tired of traffic.
all hand done too.
Yeah, and we went to their tasting room, and I didn't like a single one of them. I was so shocked. I was like, man, they were all very. Again, it's different types. They do it differently than other wineries. It's not a modern, or it's a more modern version rather than traditional styles or whatnot. And it was just very watery to me, and I just couldn't get it. I was so disappointed. I was like, man, I wanted to like it so much. This guy's like an icon.
You wanted the complexity of the lyrics.
Yes. Yes.
And the music.
Yes. And it was not there in the wine, which is, it is what it is. But
I wanted time signature changes and
That's right.
key changes, and I got.
It's got to make me question
Flatness.
different aspects of life that I never would have
What is
before,
it with these guys and coffee? These heavy metal,
Like Dave Grohl.
Grohl. You've got Korn that has their own line of coffee.
Really?
Charlie Benante from Anthrax has his own line of coffee.
It sells. It's not going to stop selling.
All right. I get it, but it's one of those things.
Somewhere to put your money. Hey, I have a lot of money that I don't know what to do with. I like coffee. I know what makes good coffee. Let's do
We've
that.
had the corn coffee, and it was delightful.
Really?
Nice. Anything with the band Korn
Right,
and delightful in the
delightful.
same sentence cracks me up.
Jim took a sip and goes,
Wow. Delightful.
That's delightful. Wonderful.
That's funny. I'll have to try it. I have not had that. But I mean, it's no
Benante's
different
coffee
than
was
here
good.
in Nashville, which is the, Aldine's bar and so-and-so's bar, and you got Kid Rock's house of,
Miranda Lambert.
yeah. All these,
Yeah.
it's the same
Laney
thing.
Wilson
They're just
just
trying to
opened
figure
one
out how to
up.
diversify
Shania
their
Twain's getting her
portfolios.
own bar, apparently. Garth has his own bar.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the same
And
thing.
they're exactly the same thing.
yeah.
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 It's just a way to diversify and use your name to
Sure.
make it more profitable. Plus,
Aldine's got
it
a
is a great
steakhouse.
write-off for the record.
Oh, totally. And then Aldine's got a steakhouse too.
And John Bon Jovi just opened one.
That's right.
downtown.
My
Yep.
phone got stolen at Jason Aldean's.
Oh,
Really?
When I first visited Nashville.
you should sue Jason Aldean.
Be
Yeah.
like, yo, Jason, what's up, man?
My phone's in Africa. Get it back.
He lives like right over there. So,
Yeah. Just go knock on
Oh,
his
road
door.
trip. Road trip.
yep.
Jason.
We're going to do a podcast from your living room and rant about your restaurant. The funny thing is that you were talking about time signature changes. We went to, it got me thinking about being at my daughter's soccer game. My wife is co-coaching her soccer team. So I'm by myself watching the soccer game with the rest of the parents. And I'm like, I'm at the age, I guess, where I just don't want to talk to people anymore or meet them. I don't have that much time to really invest in relationships, and I got way too much going on. So I listen to music, and I listened the first day to I felt like I was 18 again. Anthrax, Slayer. I listened to the entire South of Heaven
That was me last night.
album.
Went to the Green Day Smashing Pumpkins. They
Oh,
played.
yeah.
I mean, cover to cover, Dookie and American Idiot.
Yeah.
It's like back to middle school, man.
Cool.
Ever find yourself doing that? I know you and I have similar musical tastes.
I don't. Yeah, I listen to a lot of older music. I still listen to the stuff that I was listening to in high school and college and whatnot. I go back to.
What are the bands you listened to back then that you still routinely go back to the most?
Soundgarden, Tool, Rage, and then a lot of drum and bass and jungle, techno,
Okay, Carly.
some jazz.
Like music that I listened to when I was younger.
Yeah, like stuff you listened to high school that you still like, to this day like constantly go back and put on.
So I was at AJ's Good Time Bar last night, and there's the second or third floor is karaoke, and so there's tons of like drunk young people of all ages, but like putting in songs. And someone played "Hot and Cold" by Katy Perry, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a throwback to like middle school dances. I love that song. I think it's so fun. Like
3 years ago for you, or
no,
But like when you're in the car
15.
picking out music, what do you put on that you put on back then? Like what do you still listen to all these years later?
Kesha.
Kesha. Okay.
Yeah.
what's going to what of your
Apollo
generation since the millennium? Because you were born in 01,
97.
97. Of that, your time, you probably had music that indelibly imprinted itself on you when you were probably 7, 8 years old. I would have to imagine. Probably your parents' music.
Yeah.
What songs that have come out since like 2005 that do you think are going to be like the Africas, Don't Stop Believins of the future that are going to be multi-generational hits? Because I mean, 80s,
Bright side.
the 80s
Yeah.
and 70s, and even the early 90s had that going on. I ask all my musician guests and stuff like that, artists, what's being made today that has that same potential?
Yeah, probably some Kanye, Beyonce, maybe, Rihanna.
Adele.
I take
yeah.
Adele, Timberlake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Timberlake. Kids today don't know who Timberlake is.
Yeah.
He's
Like he's
classic rock.
Like when he was doing, like when he went through his whole ordeal recently and got arrested for the DUI.
Yeah, the cop didn't know who
had
he
no
was.
idea who he was.
Yeah. Well, that's like there's a picture of it's a picture of a guy taking a picture of another. He asked somebody at the concert. No, it might have been a Tool concert to take their picture in front of the stage. And the guy who took the picture, who was taking the picture, they had no idea who he was. And the kid of the guy taking the picture took the picture of the whole scenario and put it up online. They said, this is really funny because these kids have no idea who's taking their picture.
Like Danny Carey taking
It was
the
Eddie
picture or
Van
something.
Halen.
That's funny. So, what's the comedian guy from years ago? Dice Clay, Andrew Dice
Andrew
Clay.
Dice Clay. Oof.
So he's got this new thing where he's going around because he's old at this point in time and he's beyond his original time where he was famous. and
Gay!
everybody knew who he was, right?
Yeah.
So now he's walking around going, "You want the picture? You want a picture? I'll give you a picture." And he's just like, "Come on, that's okay." And then people are like, "No, who are you? What?" They just think he's like some crazy homeless dude, and he's filming it. And this is his whole new shtick where
He's
he's just going out
acknowledging the
messing
fact.
with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just adapted to it and said, "Let's roll with it, man."
Why don't we go across the street and have some dice
No.
cream? Gay!
It's okay. I won't
So
judge. I
bad.
won't judge. You want the picture? And they're just like, dude,
Hickory dickory duck.
yeah.
That's the only Andrew Dice Clay thing
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I was never a huge Dice fan, but I thought that was funny that he embraced it and was like, "Let's go with it. Nobody knows me. Let's have fun with it." And he's just making everybody uncomfortable. Which
We
is
saw
pretty
him in Vegas at Harrah's. They had a comedy club there, and he was the headliner. Jim Norton was one of the warm-ups, and another guy, I can't remember who it was, but they were all hilarious. But Dice, we all knew to not sit near the stage because his whole thing is just
Crowd work.
crowd
mess
work
with
and
people.
just messing with people, and he's so good at it. He's so just rude.
The original Matt Rife, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Matt Rife is at least somewhat nice.
Yeah.
Dice was not nice
No.
at all.
We're going to the dice capades,
The
guys.
Shock Rock.
Yeah. You know who Andrew Dice Clay is?
She's
No.
like,
I didn't think
He
so.
sounds that sound like the voice sounds familiar, but I just need to see a
So
photo.
Have you seen,
imagine Fonzie. You remember the Fonz? Not Fonzie. I'm sorry. The Fonz from Happy Days.
That sounds familiar.
Hey, like the leather, like the 50s biker leather.
You ever hear of the term "jump the shark"?
But looking really dirty. That's what it's from. Is
Yeah.
Happy Days because he literally like is on a motorcycle and jumps
No, he
the
was
shark
skiing.
tank. Is it skiing?
He was skiing behind a boat with like
that's what it was, yeah.
these tropical print shorts on and his leather jacket, and he was jumping the shark. And
It became a euphemism for like when a show's gone too far.
okay.
right, or anything has gone too far.
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, Andrew, he was like
So he was in Happy Days.
No,
No, he just I was like, to get the image of him, imagine the Fonz.
He used an even
but
older
older.
example to use as an example for a guy that's older than she's familiar with. I love
You ever
that.
watch the first Grease?
Sorry, how do you not know who Henry Winkler is? Like, it's the Fonz. Like,
Like
Yeah,
that
we
name
do.
sounds familiar, but I don't know what he looks like.
you realize that was like born after that went off the air.
Okay,
right?
have you seen A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
Have you seen
We
that?
got Forrest
Bradley
Gump.
Cooper.
We got
Yes.
Forrest Gump over
Okay,
here.
This is when alcohol
Andrew-
affects the tongue muscle. Is it Lady Gaga?
Andrew Dice
Frontal
Clay.
lobe is getting a little foggy.
Tongue glove.
Andrew Dice Clay played her father in the movie.
Oh, okay. It's been a while since I've watched that movie, but,
Yeah, but
okay.
and he does a great job because he's really tapping into, I guess, how he treats his kids and concern and stuff like that. So
I mean, he is a character actor to begin with.
Yeah.
So it made sense. Anyway,
he had a movie too
yeah.
back in the 80s, late 80s.
He also made a double CD, a double comedy CD of him bombing. Nothing but him bombing on purpose.
That's great.
Going into where it's just he's telling bad jokes or trying out jokes, and the audience is like,
Are you guys awake out there?
everybody's like, "You suck." He's like, "You suck too." It's like it's a double album of nothing but bombing material, which cracks me up. He just likes messing with people.
It's a bold move,
Give
Cotton.
me some
seriously.
dice cubes, guy. That was his whole shtick.
You sound like Quagmire trying to do Andrew Dice Clay.
So, Quagmire's like this. He talks like an old school news reporter. All right. Giggity, giggity, giggity.
Okay, so I have a quick story that I think
What were we talking about before we went on? We were saying, we got to save it for the show.
there was. I don't remember.
Nobody
We
remembers.
shouldn't have saved it for the show.
Well, you were telling a story about that guy that wouldn't give you your phone back.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
dude's trying to take his phone.
Guy then called me weird. He stole my phone, wouldn't give it back to me for like 5-10 minutes, and I had to go and finally had to, get up in his face to
harsh
get my
with him?
phone back. He's like, "Don't be weird, bro.
You're
Like,
weird,
You
bro.
stole my phone for 5 minutes. I don't even know your name. You can't tell me my name, and you're holding my phone behind your back and won't give it back at a bar. And I'm the weird one.
Yeah, that's strange.
Like, yes, I know I'm the weird one, but that's super weird.
Maybe he liked you.
Maybe. I definitely. It took me a while the other day to realize I got hit on at a brewery and didn't know it at first. Like I turned around and I'm like, wait,
That's
I
what
just
we're
got hit on, right? Well, it's like I go in, it was like free beer day and got the beer, and I think I got one I wasn't supposed to get because I wasn't sure and couldn't find the email, and he hadn't been told about it at all. And finally, he was like, "Don't worry, you can get a free beer anytime you want."
Nice.
I was like, "Oh, thanks." And I turned around and go, "Wait,
Wait a minute.
free beer is a free beer."
A hole is a hole. So
Quote on MaxToys.com.
Whatever was good for the whole isn't always good for the soul.
that's right. We are actually at one point we went to Vegas again. It was my first time probably in 17 years going back. I had lived there for 4 years, and we were there for a trade show. And one of the nights, all the people on my team had never seen the fountains at the Bellagio. So we walked over. If you've ever been out there lately, I think it's a lot more crowded and more dense in that area than it ever has been. So getting a spot on the wall from the strip, they have these little outcroppings, these little alcoves where you can lean up against the wall and get a really good view of the fountains as well as the music that they play along with it. So you can see the music and taste the fountains. So I let them just all have that spot because I had seen the show a multitude of times. So I hung back against one of the trees just by myself. And out of my left ear, "Hey, honey." I'm like, it's one of those moments I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear that and just watch the show because I feel like she's talking to me, but I could be wrong. "What's up, honey?" And it's like at this point, and she's like right there. And you're like,
Just hovering in your.
"Hey," she's like, "You need some company? You want me to? I'll do anything you want." I'm like, I'm that guy.
My truck's
Great.
kind of dirty. You want to wash it?
Yeah. You know, why don't you go in there and get me a sandwich? How about a piggyback ride around the fountain? Can you do that? So the next year, we go back and we're at another convention. Maybe it was 2 years later. And one of the people that was going with us is 10 years my senior. And we were walking through, I think on our way from the Bellagio to Caesars. And it happened to him. And I'm like, yes, I'm not the target in this group, finally.
So a trucker's
He
been
looks like the putz now.
trucker's been on the road and he pulls into a brothel and he walks in, goes, you know, madam, I've got $500. I want a burnt sandwich and your ugliest girl. She goes, honey, for $500, I'll make you a 5-course dinner and you can have me. It's like, no, you don't understand. I'm not hungry or horny. I'm just homesick. Actually, when I was in Vegas last time back in April, got probably on my way back, and if you've ever been to Vegas, there's parts of the street you can't cross, and you got to go up the bridge and cross the other side, but then you got to cross right back over. And I kind of did this thinking I needed to cross over and got up there and realized I was on the wrong side. I didn't have to. And I was like, well, shit. And this woman down at the bottom of the escalator, whatever, turned around and, you talking to me? Like, it's all attitude with me. I'm like, oh, nope, sorry. I realized just crossing it myself. Where are you going? That hotel? Take me with you? Nope. You have a great night, though.
I'm good.
Wow.
Like, if you know, I just, again, going back to like a salesman's point of view, like if you're trying to close the sale, the way to start it off isn't with like attitude. Are you talking to me? Like,
We're going for the close right then and there.
Like, just,
Literally, let me just take you to bed.
right? Yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks. Bye bye. Vegas.
And
Actually,
then Ben paused and said, well, wait a minute, how much?
just out of curiosity,
Just for research purposes.
Did I ever tell you about the time we went to
I'm writing a paper for school. Can you tell me?
How does this work exactly? Walk me through the.
Courtney and
For
I had the
research purposes.
opportunity to go to a grand opening of a brothel when we lived out there. Part of one of the radio stations was doing a live broadcast from this place, Sherry's Ranch in Pahrump. And if you want to get a hump, go to Pahrump. And we went there, and on the way there, Courtney's asking me all these questions. Do you think they're going to be naked? Do you think they're going to be walking around like they'll be nice?
I hope so, honey.
You think that they're going to be? And I'm like, she's trying to make conversation. She's curious, and I'm going, I don't know. And I finally said, Court, if I knew the answers to any of these questions, would you be a little concerned? And she goes, yeah, you're right. You know,
Jim knew
It was a
every
test,
single
Jim.
answer.
It was a
Yeah.
test.
it was a test.
And he passed because he knew them all.
That's right. Yes, honey, they will be naked. In fact, you ought to check out Nadine.
Golf ball through a garden hose, if you know what I mean. There was a they had one of the people that went with us was the brother of a guy I worked with, and this guy, his brother, had no game, none. So the family chipped in to the tune of $8,000
Whoa.
for 3 hours in a bungalow with the hottest girl on the campus. And I guess he had himself a pretty good time.
It was that much.
$8,000.
That's absolutely nuts.
Wait, they said 1,000.
8,000.
I think he got ripped off. I mean, I don't
He
know.
got a lot of
I don't
things
know
off.
I don't know what they cost, but that sounds
Ridiculous.
ridiculous.
But it's with, at a clean place. It's in a themed room bungalow.
Yeah, because I think that's what he was worried about.
Right.
That's totally what.
Yeah. So we saw a lineup where the guys come in, all the girls line up. And
This
they
is
pick who
our
they want.
Poseidon suite.
Yeah. We got to tour the place. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then apparently, they were doing dollar beers, which we never paid for. And it was one of those nights. And when the guys were doing the broadcast, Courtney kept on interjecting because she was like 3 sheets to the wind and asking the girls, like they would sit down and talk to the girls. And she would pipe in, surprisingly, because she's not like that. She doesn't want to be like publicly
She's
remote.
quiet.
Yeah, very quiet when it comes to public stuff. And was asking like better questions they were coming up with. And they're like, you just handle the interview. You're asking better questions than we are. This is kind of funny.
Legit curiosity, I'm sure.
Yeah.
She's probably like,
Yeah.
all right, what is the deal with it? Yeah, she's wild stuff.
Are those real? Because they are amazing. Like,
That's funny.
really?
All right,
Cool.
Courtney.
But
Did we do a pairing with this?
No, mine's gone already.
Apparently, his pairs with more.
Yes.
Is there any more in the bottle? It's
No.
empty. Damn it.
Like I'm trying to think of what's the opposite of this, because you don't want anything similar to this, because this is already a sensory experience. I don't know. I don't know what this goes with.
As goofy as it is, I want graham crackers with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
I can
the,
see that.
the cinnamon,
you get
the
that little bit of
marshmallow,
that
the
burnt
vanilla.
marshmallow,
I think it would
s'mores
just-
type thing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Graham
Maybe
crackers.
just like a cheese pretzel. I mean, I'd said that the first beer, but I think that's pretty, it's not too flavorful, but like there's some salts, there's some savory.
See it.
I could do this with a cheese board.
Oh, yeah.
Different light cheeses, though, salty or light.
Yeah. No fruit or anything,
No.
but yes, some cheese, crackers.
It needs saltiness.
Yeah.
I feel like it's pulling the salt out of my mouth, and I want something salty to replace it. So anything salty. This would actually work with pork loin or grilled like pork chops or something like that.
Okay,
Again,
yeah.
salty, buttery. I could see that. Yeah. I don't know. That's about it for me. That's the only thing.
I mean, really, this is kind of like a standalone dessert beer for me.
Yeah. Jim?
You know, I'm thinking it's definitely dessert, but I could see the pretzel aspect of it as well. I don't know. There's a lot of different things I can go with it. I'm thinking, you know, again, maybe going back to the previous episode with what we had there, not necessarily a pumpkin pie, but maybe more pecan. You know, not as sweet, because both of them would just be, you know, too much.
I'm kind of thinking like a savory crepe. So I don't know, Red Bicycle used to have, I think it was called the Highlander, and it was like chicken and tarragon aioli, and I forget what kind of cheese on there. I feel like it would go well. It needs that earthiness to kind of balance out all the sweet. So at first I was thinking French toast. I'm like, man, you get the,
That's a lot of sugar.
if that were the maple syrup, like if that were the syrup somehow on the French toast, it'd be fantastic. But yeah, otherwise it's, you put maple on the French, it gets too sweet with the sweet. It doesn't quite work. And that's where I went, you know, because I'm thinking like, you know, maybe it's because it's earlier in the day, but this is a nice, heavy, sweet, start the day drinking breakfast beer. Like when you really want to get on and after it. And so like a good,
Yeah, I can see that after breakfast. Yeah.
I could see this at a campfire, like right before you go to bed, and it's cold outside, so you're bundled up and you're just sipping on this.
You know what would be good? A candy cane with it. Peppermint.
Like all three of us are just staring at you like, what?
Maybe
you know-
like a gingerbread cookie,
Yeah.
like on the side.
I mean, we with so much, you know, sweetness and chocolatey, not really chocolatey, but, you know,
Vanilla.
Vanilla. Why are you looking at me like you're going to kill me or something? Oh my God.
I'm trying to, I'm
Understand.
pondering this in my mind. I'm rolling it around trying to imagine those flavors together, and I can't.
Do you think?
I can see I could understand a little bit of peppermint with this, because this does not have any of that bright bite.
Peppermint wouldn't destroy the profile.
It would not.
Like, it
So
would
I
actually
can,
might blend in.
I think I get it,
Yeah. It just kind
but
of
it's
popped in
hard
there.
to do that.
Like apples and cheese. Yeah, it's like, well,
It could work.
Do you think
Apples and
these-
brie. Mm.
Has somebody made like a peppermint mocha stout?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been done.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see that working, I guess.
Oh, we'll have to do some pumpkin beers maybe the next episode or two.
Getting close. Getting close.
Well, I mean, with this, yeah, the next session
I've
we'll
seen
have to
them
do
at the
that.
store. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, the pumpkin is back out again.
Yes.
Okay, so I did also think reduction. Like this as the pie filling, like if you cooked some of the pecans in this and made this part of the filling of a pecan pie, there's so much flavor in this beer.
Again,
that would work well.
You know, replacing vanilla extract in pancakes.
Yeah. Or a chess pie. Again, I brought up chess pie again, but chess pie as the flavor.
Interesting.
Like this would make a pancake that you wouldn't need maple syrup for.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah.
I totally agree. It's a wild beer, man. It really is. There's a lot of flavor. If you want flavor, you can't go wrong with what they do. They put so much flavor in their stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
literally,
And
the
it's
ingredient
not-
list is crazy.
Yeah, and it's enjoyable. It's not like too much.
And they never taste 15%.
No.
No, not at all. You're
Like
right.
you would expect it to be super boozy in your face, like and it's very palatable.
It is.
This is basically this is more than a wine.
Yeah.
Yeehaw.
Ye frickin' haw.
Ye freaking haw. I was going to tell you guys one thing. I realized I was yawning. I'm still tired. You've owned dogs and you've owned dogs. You're a cat person, so you've not necessarily dealt with this yet. If you ever end up having a dog, have either of you had your dog get sprayed by a skunk?
My first dog growing up did, but our dogs don't really get out that much.
Tomato paste is better than tomato sauce. I mean, really, you just got to keep washing them. Cornstarch helped out a lot, actually. Like, cornstarch is great if you ever need to just do a dry shampoo for your dog. Our dog hated water. Bathing him was a pain. So we just take cornstarch and rub it all in his fur, and it absorbs a lot of the smell and the oil and everything else.
Then you vacuum him.
Yeah, right. But yeah, she was sprayed dead on by a skunk one time.
Buddy, I had not experienced that until 2 nights ago. Porter got zapped.
Zapped.
A week later, you go like stuff to facing your little furry friend. Oh,
So it was like this. It was a combination of terrible events. So it was at 3:45 in the morning. I wake up because he's getting sick on the carpet, and I'm like, "Really, dude? All right." And Stacy goes, "I'll take him outside." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Because normally it's me. Like every single night he wants to go out in the middle of the night, but this time he got sick. And I'm like, "Okay." She takes him out, and I start to fall back asleep. And I wake up to her closing the kennel door, where we get a little kennel for him if we're worried about him, being out and about and causing problems. And all of a sudden I hear her go, "Oh God. Oh God." And I sit upright and I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Do you smell? Oh God."
You haven't sounded like that in so many years.
She goes, "Do you smell that?" And I'm like, "No, I don't smell any." Oh shit. As soon as I got to Eddie, it hit. It just went whoa, and wafted across. And I was like, skunk. She's like, "Where's it coming from?" I'm like, "Where do you think it's coming from?" "It's coming from him."
Little stinky boy.
Oh, dude. He's smaller than a damn skunk, which is funny, but apparently he went out there and just got blasted, man. And she's like, "Oh, God." So she picks him up, and it's all over her and him.
It's a comedy of errors.
Done that.
So I was up from 3:45 in the morning. Just we were washing laundry, clothes. She had to take a shower. She had to bathe him twice.
It's like you were attacked by lice.
It was just brutal. So, and what was funny is yesterday I sat down and he curled up. He's always, if I sit down, he's in my lap within 30 seconds.
That's awesome.
I sat down and he curls up and I'm like, "Hey, buddy, it's good to see you." And I patted him and all of a sudden I went,
Yeah.
"Damn it."
Still not out.
Still some there. I'm like,
weeks.
"Oh."
It's just, you got to let
It
it run its
lingers
course.
for
Yeah.
weeks.
Dude, it's so bad.
Yeah. I mean,
Especially
our
that
first
fur.
dog, and it's funny looking back on raising the dog that I grew up with and had, my formative years, was an outside dog to the point where he just didn't like coming inside. And because of it, he was probably 16, 17 years old when he died. And just being chained up to his doghouse, we'd take him for walks, and he just, in Connecticut all year long.
Really?
Yeah. It's like that would be animal abuse these
He's a
days.
rustic dog.
Yeah. That would be
Yeah.
considered animal abuse.
Okay, let's give this thing a rating
Yep.
and wrap it up. Ladies first.
Yeah, I would say probably 7.8 vanilla beans. It was very tasty.
Yeah.
Butter washed vanilla beans?
Yes.
Okay.
Bourbon
Brown.
barrel aged.
Butter wash.
Yeah, brown.
Rum barrel aged.
Yes, they're all the words.
I'm going 8 out of 10 petite deaths.
All right. I'm going to go, I'm going to be, probably an 8 vanilla beans. So,
All right, Maestro.
Bless you.
thank you.
I can't drink a ton of this, but surprisingly more than I would have thought. Like it's not hitting my tongue as hard as I thought it would, especially considering the alcohol.
Yeah, it doesn't stick.
Right.
It really doesn't. It washes away. And the flavors are great. They all work well together. It's blended well together. And for what it is, I'm going to give it a 9. For in my daily drinking, I would give it maybe a 7.5 because this is not the first thing I'm going to go to for like a, say, daily drinking. But if I'm going to sit around and just drink a beer for beer's sake, this is not the first thing that's going to pop into my mind. But if I wanted to get people together to really showcase something unique, this is up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's something to talk about. I would give it, high. What did I say?
You
Nine
said nine for what it is.
Yeah, I give it
7.5 for daily.
9 mutilated pinatas. Still a weird ass logo, but anyway, it's well done. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
I would say.
Go
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, well, ladies first. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I don't like stouts, but this is probably the best stout I've ever had.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's not my go-to either, and I always anticipate something like this will have a fatigue, but I haven't, with the little, 1.5-inch level I had in this glass,
that sounded like disappointment.
it was disappointing because I want more.
I could use another 5 to 6 ounces.
Yeah. And then maybe after that, it would have been like, okay, I'm good. But I don't know. I guess we'll never know.
I'm getting the tang of the cream cheese at the very end. Like that's the last thing you get. It's weird.
Cream cheese. Really?
It's got cream cheese powder in it.
I wasn't listening.
I can tell.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
You said what you said. You said what you said. All right, we're good. I think that's it. If you guys want to check it out, so Burial Brewing Company.
Always high on the list.
Yeah, Asheville in general. If you go to Asheville, there's a ton of great breweries there. But Burial, I thought it was an absolute winner. I think it was fantastic, and you can try some interesting stuff. And if you get this poured, you get a little tiny ass glass. You can order this short, and it's like a tiny shot glass worth of it because it's such high gravity.
4 ounces, 5 ounces, maybe.
So when I ordered it, I didn't notice that, and they brought this little glass, and I went, "Oh, isn't that cute?"
That'd be $10.
Yeah. But it was good. It was a different one of these, not this one. Give them a shot. Check it out. Burial Beer Company in Asheville, North Carolina. Let us know what you think if you've had a chance to try this before, or if you try it along with us. We'll try to let you know in advance. Check us out on the alesandtalespodcast.com. Give us a review, give us a like. Please share us with your friends, family, and coworkers so that they too can enjoy living vicariously through us.
If you really love us, share us with your enemies
That too.
and your frenemies.
Except for that one guy that texted us weird stuff. But anyway, all right. Till next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.